Hello everyone, back again. Mike Heck. I am a 3D printing enthusiast, agile enthusiast, etc., etc. And here on this blog, or vlog if you want to call it that, I'm going to be talking about 3D printing and using my 3D printers that I have. One is a filament-based printer and the other is a resin-based printer. Currently, I am doing cosplay elements for several people that I know. There are a couple things that I was hoping to show by this time, as it's been almost a week since my last video was posted. But I've learned a couple things during the time. First off, when you buy filament, it comes in on a nice spool like this usually. What I've learned recently is that sometimes the filament actually has small excesses of the filament spool or the filament thread that are still inside the center of these spools. How I learned that is I was getting layer shifts on my print that I was doing, and part of it was that every time it would encounter that excess of filament, it had to pull harder on the filament to get it into the melt chamber, into the extruder chamber. And unfortunately what that did was it caused the entire frame to move and jiggle, which was apparently enough, combined with the other part I'm going to talk about in a second, to cause me to get a layer shift. The other thing that I'd forgotten, after 15 to 20 hours of straight printing, I had not done any maintenance on my 3D printer. And when you get a 3D printer, one of the things that you actually need to do or should be doing at least once a week, once a month, depending on how frequently or how often you're printing, is you should be doing maintenance on it, checking things like the belts to make certain that they're tight without being overly tight, the smoothness of the motion of the carriages, X, Y, and Z, and to make certain that the rods, if it's using rods, are actually secure and not turnable inside of the capture areas. The reason that that's important is because when you get subtle vibrations, like what was happening due to the spool of filament having to bounce to make that turn, if you also have loose belts, or in my case, I had the two rods that the extruder rides on, those were loose and were not tightened in. And so what ended up happening is, with the vibration from the top coming down into the frame, it allowed the extruder to bounce forward slightly, and each time it did that, I was getting more and more of a layer shift. So, lesson learned, make certain that you're doing regular printer maintenance when you're doing things like printing out cosplay elements, because you'll end up, as I did for the Mandalorian helmet, printing for about 7 to 8 days straight to get all the parts for it. And if you don't do your printer maintenance after that, you're likely going to end up having issues with the next prints that you do. So hopefully next time I talk to you all in a couple days, I will have the pauldron that I helped redesign ready to be shown off, and hopefully you'll like it. With that, I'll sign off. Stay healthy, stay safe, and we will talk with you later.